easy to talk about. It's easy to sum it up when you just talk about practice. We sitting here, I'm supposed to be the franchise player, and we're in here talking about practice.
You got a problem, son? Turn the volume up. Volume up. Bang it out the truck. Hitting with the hardest shit. Take the back.
You understand what the fuck I'm saying now? Don't ever forget that I'm the boss. Come blaze Joe with the Dre Kona. I'm staying stone like an ancient golem. Playing Game of Thrones, bladed thrones since the days of Roman. So praise the soul that my faith devotion could drain the ocean. Fatal flow, I leave a vacant glow floating in space frozen. My astronomist, sarcophagus synonymous. Monolithic obelisk, omnipresent and ominous. A fallen prince, just politics of the dark abyss. Caustic godlessness, half dark side and apocalypse. Fuck you mean, double Dutch, double cup of lean. Southern king, I run it from the jungle to the tumbleweeds. Dungeon to the submarines, Gungan see the Gungan wings. Muggle meet your buzzer feed, the gun machine a double team. Blue wheel, blue steel in the peacoat. Squeeze 3 in your throat over cheap coke and weed smoke. Southeast coast, native druids and beach ghosts. Float your spirit soul to the place that your dreams go. It's the god of the bloody bloods. Poor dogs, cruises all shook, your jewels is all took. My goose off the hook, and we run rap, bitch. If you with me in the crowd, holla fuck that shit. I'm never running out of drugs. Fuck that shit. Never talking to the fuzz. Fuck that shit. Always sticking to my guns. Fuck that shit. If y'all like my style, y'all can suck my dick. It's warcraft, how I'm crafting this war. Black horde storm the castle halls, axes is drawn. Daggers and swords slash your jaws across the paladin's cross. As orc masses sacrifice you to the alien lords. Hammer of Thor. Portrait of a space marine. Slay the king, praises to the pagan priest with sacred cheese. Blazing trees, we the major leagues of masonry. Naked scenes and fatal dreams. Asian teens with anal beads. The finest hoes lining my coat. Drug trader, undertaker, weigh the price of your soul. Spark kick, kill the messenger, you fly in a hole. Dying slow as snakes slide through the eyes of your skull. Yo, it's the necromancer. Why you think your prayers are never answered? Connection failed, God's plans that the devil canceled. Heaven dismantled, dead leveled and trampled. The sledgehammer slam you to shambles. It's the god of the bloody bloods. Poor dogs, cruises all shook, your jewels is all took. My goose off the hook, and we run rap, bitch. If you with me in the crowd, holla fuck that shit. I'm never running out of drugs. Fuck that shit. Never talking to the fuzz. Fuck that shit. Always sticking to my guns. Fuck that shit. If y'all like my style, y'all can suck my dick.
We talking about practice, not a game. We talking about practice, not a game, not the game that I go out there and die for and play every game like it's my last. Not the game. We talking about practice, man. I mean, how silly is that, man? We talking about practice.
We're on.
We are live. Well, we're not live, but we are. Yeah, we are here. Welcome to Rooster Radio yet again, and this is actually our last show of the year. We are, however, on Friday the 17th doing a Christmas show over at the Joy Theater in Kings Mountain. So make sure to pick up some tickets for that at kmlt.org. But in the meantime, today we're talking to Benny Hunter. Give it up. Give it up.
Yeah. Make some noise for that, y'all.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it like Drake champs.
Benny, thanks for coming all the way out here to join us here at the Rooster Studio today.
Yeah, y'all like 10 minutes from my crib, man. It was cool to come out here, man.
That's great.
Yeah.
Who knew? We had a very talented hip-hop artist in Gastonia. Wait, we knew. We've had a couple on.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, poverty breeds good music, and there's a lot of that in Gaston County.
Is that the hood way of saying necessity is the mother of all invention?
Exactly. I'm sure that all the rap music that's made in, like, Thousand Oaks in California is probably not that good, but I'm sure all the shit that's in Gastonia is fire. You get what I'm saying?
Benihana's fire.
Hell yeah, man. Local, super local. Been local for like 3 years now. I love Gastonia, man. It's the Spartanburg of North Carolina, so you know what I'm saying? And my whole family's from Spartanburg, so I love it here.
Shout out to Spartanburg.
Shout out to Spartanburg.
Shout out to Mick Munchell.
Shout out to
Ground Zero.
What up?
Yep.
Love you, Mick. We really do.
And I mean, you know, you were saying from Gastonia, but from Gastonia with 3 million views.
Yeah. Well, I'm from Asheville, but I'm in Gastonia. I live here, and like, you know, since COVID happened, wherever you live, like that's, you don't travel. You know, so it's like I've probably spent more days in Asheville or in Gastonia in the last 8 years of my life than I have in Asheville. But I'm from Asheville. I grew up in there, but then I lived in Spartanburg. You know what I mean? I've lived everywhere. I'm one of those people.
Now, is that because your music's taking you around the country, or?
Yeah, that, and I'm usually broke, so you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I usually throw in apartments with everybody. I'm always just trying to record. I always wanted to get out of the town I lived in as a kid because, like, I just didn't want to be somebody that, like, you know, only got on in my town. Yeah, I just wanted to, I think, even if you're the biggest rapper in your town in a place like North Carolina, like, if you're the biggest rapper in Asheville, that's the 11th biggest city in North Carolina, which is the 25th biggest market in the United States, which is like the number one.
We're doing rap math.
Yeah, it's just like, it's like not really a big crown. It's like being like a midget trying to get into the NBA at that point. So it's like, you know, I had to try to broaden my horizons, and it didn't work.
What do you mean?
I mean, it worked. It worked.
Come on, man.
Well, I mean, I'm still. To me, I'll always come back to North Carolina. Like, it's like, this is like, you know, this is the best place. We were talking about it earlier. It's the best place to live in the country. The baby, and you know,
we do have
Petey Pablo.
But listen, there's that.
Petey
but like
Pop.
the Charlotte area has got so, and like just Fayetteville, Murray coming out of there. It's like North Carolina is probably.
J. Cole's from Fayetteville.
Yeah, like, dude, North Carolina.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that.
But back in the 90s and the early 2000s, North Carolina was whack to be from North Carolina. for music, not obviously not real life, but like, if you were like, yeah, here's our music references of who we got, and it would have been like James Taylor.
James Taylor, yeah.
Jodeci, like, you know what I'm
Don't
saying?
hate on James Taylor.
I love James
Sweet
Taylor.
baby James, come on.
You know, I like him. I'm all over the James Taylor. But the thing is, like, now North
New York's
Carolina is
not.
cool. New York is not. But yo, they got their own guy. I'm trying to remember. He got this song called "If I Had Time." Jim Croce. Yeah, he's
Croce.
I like him more than James Taylor, because James Taylor got 3 or 4 jams I like, but Jim Croce, I got
all of his jams.
Dog, everything. He's got one
Time
album.
in a Bottle.
That's what I was gonna say. What's the one with Operator? Can you help me place this call? That's a great record.
That's
yeah.
I don't know the name of the record, but I listen to
I
that.
have that record, and he's got a blue shirt on, and he's got the big
He's
mustache
looking
on
out
the
of a
front.
window
yeah,
or something.
Yeah. It's a great. That's one of, honestly, out of all the records in my house, that's my favorite record. I always have that record showing. It really has the best records. It's the best record.
It's a panty dropper.
Oh man,
yeah.
it is. Oh, well, also, if girls hear you, they're like, damn, he listening to that old school. That's a rap. That's, you know, you can't bring her. Yeah, well, maybe that's probably a lot of people's styles. They bring the opposite sex over and they play new school music. I don't do that. I'll be playing old school shit because I'm smooth like that. But I'll be over to girls' houses and they'll be having like that new school like rap. Like the girl is rapping and she's like, "This is my butt, my butt, my butt," and I can't. I am like so.
Yeah,
Dude.
I don't know.
I was too old when all that happened, so I like can't even like.
Can't relate.
Yeah, no, because my friends got kids that's like 18 and 19, and like I knew them when they were like 8 or 9, and now they're like popping to that. I was like, dude,
I'm an old school kind of guy myself, man, and luckily, my wife likes the same kind of music I like, and so we get along with it.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, the classics, man.
Jim's
one of my favorites.
Dude, he's definitely he's probably my number 1 folk artist of all time.
If I had to pick between James and Jim, I think I'd pick Jim too.
Yeah. Just cause that, if we did hits, they both get 2 songs, James would crush him. But if they both get 10, it's not gonna go down like that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Josh, James or Jim?
Man, honestly, that's a tough one. I like a lot. I get down with the easy vibe that James Taylor throws down. I feel like I feel like when I'm in the mood for that
Wholesome.
kind of music, James Taylor calls to me a lot more than Jim Croce.
That's a good observation. James Taylor is more smooth, kind of laid back. Jim Croce's got that gritty, gravelly voice. It's more
James
more
Taylor's
dirty.
for the family situation. Jim Croce for the bitches. That's
I
how
don't know,
I
man.
feel.
I listen to Jim
Straight up.
in my truck
Love
alone.
it. Love it.
Oh, word. I feel that, but it's like, bro, if she hears you with that time in the bottle or that operator, when she's gonna be like, she's so deep. I'm telling you, it's a better look. If she sees you listening to James Taylor, she's like this generic ass halftime at the Panthers game.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's great, man. That's terrific. Okay. Before this Jim James debacle, we were talking about North Carolina.
Right.
What can you tell us about South Carolina?
Shit, man. My whole half of my family's from South Carolina. The other half's from West Virginia. So I'm not
Sandwiched in the middle.
Yeah. But
The lunch meat.
I love Spartanburg. Spartanburg's my favorite part of. As I get older, I wouldn't want to live in Spartanburg. I like Charleston a lot more, but I had some of the best years, my golden years, if you will. I was like in college when I was living in Spartanburg, going all to the clubs out there, Club Zinc. All these clubs are gone. Club Dream. I just,
Well, there's one club that's still there. We'll say it again. Ground Zero.
Ground Zero.
check out. Yeah.
You've played Ground Zero, right?
Man, we've done probably some of the biggest shows for hip hop there back between the years of 2000, I want to say like maybe 13 and 16 and 17. It was definitely the best time of my life as far as me being just like winging it, like we were just broke kids trying to put shows together. It was awesome. We got to hang out with celebrities on a regular basis.
I was about to say, coming from that, from what you're saying right now, coming from that mindset, talk a little bit about what goes through your head when you get booked on a show with like an ICP or a Twisted
Right.
Bubba Sparks.
Well, shout out to my
like-
manager Juan Salez, who made a lot of that stuff, or certain parts of that aspect. It's cool to hang out with those guys, but now I've done so many times where it's like they're my peers, and I'm at a point where I'm like less excited to hang out with celebrities.
Well, I'm not talking about the celebrity.
Yeah,
I'm talking about
yeah.
the feeling of a guy who's coming up. Nobody knows who you are yet. You're trying to make a name for yourself, and then you get the phone call.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you're going to open for name a famous person.
Right.
Like what goes through your head
always
when
dope.
you get that call?
Well, it's different situations because sometimes it's like a situation where like that whoever that artist is don't know nobody else in my town. If it was Spartanburg or Asheville, so when they hit me up, I know that I'm gonna be a liaison. So I gotta have everything set up so it's pretty cool. That's always fun because it's just me hanging out with celebrities, picking their brains about certain records, and I've got to do that with like Bubba Sparks. He let me like Nardwar, and like we had like 2 or 3 hours where we was just chilling and just let me and I'm a super geek of all the liner notes of old records, so I was asking him everything I could. So when it happens, I don't really think about the show aspect of it. I always think about like how much time am I gonna get to spend with this person to be able to ask them nerdy ass rap questions.
See, but
that's cool.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
And it shows passion for what you do.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that, I don't know what it's like to be that famous of a celebrity, but to be able to go to a town and hook up with an opener that's not all about what you got.
Yeah.
That
talk
must
about
be nice.
It must be nice to have a real conversation about art with somebody.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, a lot of times those guys are like, can you just like put me onto some like rich guys that play golf that could pay me a bunch of money to talk about bubble gum or something? You know what I'm saying? I
Can I
usually
go
do that.
hustle some
Can I do a commercial for a used auto and get a percentage of the auto dealership? And I'm always like, yeah, what can I do for you? Let me get 10 points on it. So like I always try to put all that stuff together. The coolest rapper I got to meet, almost all the biggest rappers. The coolest one I ever met was Jackie Chain. He's not the real Jackie Chan, but Jackie Chain. He was from Alabama, and he was like the illest like rapper ever. You know what I mean?
Alabama's pumping out some hits over there.
Alabama's the shit, and I've never been there. And if I don't go there, it's okay. But I really think that they have like the best hip hop artists, like for Southern artists. Well, they're probably top 5 in the South for the last.
I don't know, man.
10 years.
Georgia's got a lot of.
Georgia's like number 1.
Yeah.
Number 2 is Texas. Number 3 is Florida. And I don't know where we probably 4 or 5, bro. North Carolina is. South Carolina. Here's the thing. Right now, Texas in the late 2000s, we'll call it mid 2000s. You remember when they had Paul
Paul
Wall,
Wall,
Chamillionaire, UGK,
Mike Jones.
Who? Yeah, exactly. And like they had, I mean, we could sit here and keep Slim Thug, Lil Kiki,
dipping on full folks.
what's his name? South Park back there. Like, listen, there's a Texas back then.
8 Ball.
Listen, that all the Texas stuff. That's North Carolina. If South Carolina gets on, North Carolina and South Carolina have the ability to be like Texas was back then. Just
There's
because
a lot.
so many popping
There
names.
is a lot happening in North and South Carolina right
J.
now.
Cole, the baby, stunner from Vegas, Moray.
Well, what about Blind Fury?
I was gonna say we got to mention
Fury,
Blind
yeah.
Fury. I
Hell
mean,
yeah.
that's Lugoff, South
We
Carolina.
got 2 million views together. Shout outs to motherfucking Grind Mode. Shout outs to Blind Fury. Shout outs to Venomous. Shout outs to my man Jones McShine. Shout outs to everybody that's on that track. We absolutely that was the most legendary North Carolina
That
cypher
was
ever.
if you haven't watched it, tell them where to look, what to look for on YouTube. There is a
Just type in Grind Mode Cypher Charlotte Volume 10.
Grind Mode Cipher Charlotte Volume 10.
Biggest cipher in the history of Carolina.
Fantastic YouTube video.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
well
yeah.
produced too.
Yeah.
I don't know
Ray.
who did it. Shout out the
Shouts to
videographer
Ray.
because
Grind Mode Cypher. Lingo, you know what it is, baby. That's my dog. That's my homie. Yeah, he can call me for
it's a
anything.
great video.
Yeah. And it's a great moment in the culture too, because that like they East Coast rap and East Coast MCs and South MCs is not the same. And for them to go all over the country and go to Utah and all these places, Cali, New York, but they come to Carolina and we light it up for the biggest one they ever do, and it's the biggest one in the history of North Carolina, man.
Hey, you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of Strange Music back in the day.
Yeah, because there was so many diverse different
so
characters.
many different types of rappers on this one
that.
label that were making it work.
Yeah.
And they make these videos where you've got 10 different styles on one song. And it works. It sounds good.
And that's what makes it. It's got to sound like 6 different dudes or like 6 different characters. Like a lot of them shits, it's like one dude and they all like got lyrical, spiritual miracles going on. You know what I'm saying? And it's just
I like that.
Yeah. But it's like stuff that like, it makes it hard to listen to. But also, a lot of people just want to listen to it like where it's like MCs going all day. A lot of cats that work on cars or put tents on whips and all that stuff or work in barbershops, they want to hear you rapping. So if you got 6 people rapping in a row, they'd rather have that than a commercial.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah. So that's their style. So
Have you had a chance to do any work with Brennan Campbell out in Charlotte?
small guy raps really fast. Used to be a metal singer. I have. He came over to my house and he got. Oh, I can't tell the story. We hung out. That's my guy. He's a good guy. We chill. I saw him in Colombia. We got some hilarious tales. He should be on this, and you should tell him about me. He'd be like, "Yo, those guys are crazy." My boy Rich got a song where he's like, "I'm chilling with a chick that's Brazilian." He's not my boy. I don't even know. But he got a song where he's like, "I'm chilling with a Brazilian." She hit me up and said she never want to chill again. A lot of people be coming to party with us, and they'll be like, "Listen, man, just don't even like hit me up. Don't even you just go way too hard. Just cut from a different cloth." And he was definitely like that. But
that's one. I think that's his latest drop that he put out his brand new video for. I think we're in the process of talking to him about.
Yeah, I'll tell him to come
here.
over. I think I got I definitely got his number. I'll call him and tell him to come over here. He's cool as hell, man. He spits double time. Shout outs to we got a homeboy Jack Defrost, and my man Jack Defrost is always like, "Yo, that guy's the shit." Brandon Campbell, yeah, I do remember him. Cool dude. We haven't been on the same thing, or maybe we have, and I just don't know about it. But I don't think that we have. We might have though.
Are you reaching the point in your career now where you're forgetting
Dog,
shit you
I
did?
dropped 5 albums, and this year then came out with the
Talk about it. Talk about the 5 albums last year. So hold on, we'll set it up, okay?
Okay, all right.
All right, so 2019, you're going around doing shows, right?
At the beginning, before 2019.
2019,
yes.
you're doing shows,
Mad
you're traveling
shows.
around,
Yeah,
celebrities, things are going well,
chilling,
you're making money,
balling,
you're
loving it,
women, all this.
Yeah.
2020.
And then 2020 happened.
Wow, nothing. I'm chilling in my room. I used to do an album every 4 years. I didn't give a shit. I just wanted to go to the shows and hang out and just chill with everybody, get some money, and just have a great time. And like that's all it was. But now, like after then I had to go back and like face that person that I had become for like a year and a half and just chill in my crib. It was crazy. So then I just started
working.
Well, the thing is, the bills keep coming, man. So you got to keep like what you go like with these cats that come out with the album a year. This year, they didn't make no money. They probably unless they had some crazy business plan. But it's like nowadays, like our videos peak after 2 days. Like if we get 20,000 views in 2 days, that's what that's video got. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to keep coming out with content constantly. So that's what I do. But you know what? That's good for me because I can write all day. I've been doing that shit since I was 6.
You said something. You said face the person you've become, right?
Yeah.
Did that process create art for you?
Hell yeah, man. But it was a whole. It's just been a whole thing. Like I've had to make songs more personal. I was making them for the crowd because my job was to make them go dumb so they would want me to come there without the celebrity.
True.
I'll tour around the country. Listen, if you opening act Jack, which is what my boy Kremro used to call us, was what we do when you open for the celebrity wants you to have the most stage time you can, so they have the littlest amount of stage time. The fans want you to have the littlest amount of stage time, so they spend money to see the celebrity. They're not unreasonable for that.
Right.
The celebrity got fucking 40, 50 dates. They also ain't unreasonable for how they want to do you. You get what I'm saying?
So you're trying to find this balance.
Yeah.
You want to entertain this crowd, but you don't want to wear them out to where they don't want to get off the stage.
Exactly.
And then you
because we've been at those shows. We've been at those shows. If you're a hardcore fan,
well, at the same time, the celebrity's expecting you to set the tone, right?
Yeah.
Well, some of them are. Some of them want you to fail so they can come
I'm
out.
gonna be all the way honest. When it's like 50, 60 show tour, when they get down to us in Asheville and Spartanburg, they don't want to do shit. Like they're about to hit Georgia, and after they hit Georgia, they're about to hit Florida. So they're hitting us on a Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah.
And then they're going to be out there. They're gearing up for meetings and stuff that they're doing in Florida and Georgia. And like this is like that's just how they treat it, just to be all the way honest. They usually just kind of...
Well, you're not the first person that I've heard that from, and you know, I don't want to spend too much time. Yes, sir. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but that's the reason why we just want to do weekend shows, and we want to start small and build with local.
Right,
because
right.
I know, like, you got Charlotte, you got Raleigh, you got Greenville, you got Columbia, Myrtle Beach, Charleston,
Asheville's on that
Raleigh,
list. Asheville's on that
Asheville.
list.
So anything you get in this area, the chances of you getting a Friday or Saturday night with a big name is slim to none.
But the cool thing about rappers and metal bands is like they can hit. If you really getting it in, you can hit 7 to 11 dates in Carolina, because you can hit 4. Let's talk about 4 in South Carolina, right? Charleston. Let's just creep up the coast. We got Charleston,
Myrtle Beach.
Then we got Columbia. Let's say Greenville,
Spartanburg.
Yeah, all right, that's 4. Now I know we can do 11 in North Carolina. It wouldn't be no problem.
Well, if you're regional, it's beneficial.
Yeah, but if you off the hook and you're really trying to tour and you really connected, you can hit it. This will end up this in Ohio.
You
North
could
Carolina,
create a whole
Ohio.
tour in just the 2 states. I mean,
Yeah,
you literally could do a fall
Michigan
tour.
and Ohio and Florida are all in that boat too. Georgia's not quite in that boat, but we are in a boat where it's like, okay, if you have so many fans in the United States, if there's 250,000 people in a town, you know that you have 250 people there. North Carolina has 11 towns that fit within that demographic. Run the dates.
You're right.
Yeah.
I like that you think that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a regional artist and you understand the mathematics and the business side of it.
Well, that's the booking agent side of it. Artists, they don't even need to understand that. They got to work on their art. But once you stop working at your job, or your only thing is that you run a venue, like, it becomes less about your opinions and how you feel about the music and more about how you make sure that everything's taken care of. So it becomes like real. It's like if you were in the forest, you probably wouldn't be worried about Jesus and like your taxes. You know what I'm saying? You'd be trying to make sure everything gets worked out and you have enough, like, dead chipmunks to eat.
Yeah. Foraging for berries.
You feel me? Like that's how it is being a professional in the music industry world is. You know what I'm saying?
Which is great to get it's great to get some insight into it.
Yeah, it's always fun to hear from an artist that has been there, done that, and understands the business. And hopefully we can help foster this mentality with other local artists and help them springboard into regional and national jobs. Yeah. Now, there's not you mentioned earlier, there's not a whole lot of meat on the bone when it comes to North Carolina artists.
Yeah.
How many North Carolina artists have you gotten to meet and work with?
All of them. Or not all of them, but like almost everybody. I feel like everybody that's been in the game for what I do, for my little circle, I'm not part of the trap community. I got people that's associated with me that's in that community, but North Carolina makes that kind of music, but I'm a hip-hop artist. This is more like underground hip-hop left left over from LimeWire and when records. Like I'm like a hip hop artist and I'm a businessman, but those guys do that trap stuff, and like I don't even want nothing to do with it. I don't even Google trap rap music. I feel like I
like
might.
T.I.
I love Ti.
T.I.
I love all that stuff. But now this stuff that's
New
probably
national
happened
anthem.
that's cool because that's from my era. But like in the last 10 years, I mean, you're probably just like, I mean, all of us like this. Like, man, I don't even know nobody that's that old that listens to the new music that comes out and stuff like that. So I don't even know what's going on. When I think trap music, I think of like all that stuff that's come out of Atlanta and Charlotte for the last 5 to 8 years, probably 20 years, that I just know nothing about.
Well, one thing, and we talked a little bit before the show about this. One thing about hip hop, and this is one of the things I love about hip hop, is how well hip hop meshes. The hip hop community meshes with the metal community. Right?
It does mesh very well.
Yeah. It's kind of the same guys. If you go to a Wu-Tang show is almost everybody that would have got tickets to a Slayer show.
Yeah, all right, so let me break it down. Let me get scientific for a minute, right?
Yeah.
So, hip-hop, heavy metal, classical music.
Yeah.
All three of those genres are hitting on the same note signatures.
Yeah.
When you make your music. When you're making beats with hip hop, you're using the same math and science that you use when you write a classical song, same math and science when you're writing a metal song.
That's
right.
very true.
And those are the only three genres that do that. Country doesn't do that. You know what I'm saying? No other genre. Pop music doesn't do that.
Right.
There's got to be something to that science that tells us why rap and hip hop or hip hop and metal get along so well, and they create some of the best shows. You've done metal shows, right?
I've opened up for what's the name of these guys? Hold on, fuck, the metal guys will hate me for this. I've fucked with some big metal motherfuckers. The guy I was chilling was from North Carolina. Mushroom Head. Listen.
You know, that's a percussionist.
No, he's the lead singer. His name was something. I can't remember. I was just it was dope. Those guys, listen, hip hop's kind of corny on the like our stage game. Like it's not corny. It's just like it's a dude in the mic and his audio is supposed to make your brain happen. Mushroom Head don't play that shit. They playing the drums. Them shits are coming up. They catching them waters. Everybody's got a mask. We did the Ground Zero joint. The guy that plays the piano like it's a guitar around his neck. Yo, he's hanging upside down from his rafters and he's playing like this. And like I'm going before them and my manager's like, we rapping tonight. We live in Spartanburg. I'm like, whatever. We get to it. It's all like a whole bunch of white people with shaved heads.
I'm pretty sure I was there that night.
Yeah, and I got booed off stage.
I've seen them just about every time they've come to Ground Zero.
Bro, one night I got so smashed, and it was one of those nights where I decided I was gonna fight the crowd. I don't know, like I was completely smashed, and like I looked, the house was sold out, and like I was playing my song. Oh man, it was a crazy story. It's a whole story. But yeah, I've done tons of metal shows. Here's what people don't realize about people like, man, metal and rap. Like the dopest, most black record of all time is Fear of a Black Planet. You know what I'm saying? And like they got that shit has got Slayer samples in it, and like you know I'm like if you listen to a lot, rappers be hitting me with beats, and I'm like, that's a Megadeth sample, and they're like, yeah, it's dope, right? Like they get to buy the beat from the guy that sampled Megadeth, so they don't even know it's the Megadeth. Like anybody just, if you really in the game, like listen, we was talking about this with drag shows, metal bands, wrestling, rap shows, little flea market things. This is the industry. This is what venues deal in. Okay, so like all the heads of all these things, we all know each other. Wrestling is a big one that's coming up right now. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of hip hop and wrestling. Griselda, hip hop and wrestling is super all over.
Well, I mean, we mentioned it a little bit ago when we were talking about Brendan Campbell, but I mean, he was out touring, playing dates all over the place with Zeus, doing metal stuff back then, hanging. I remember he was doing a show up in Charlotte. He was literally hanging from the rafters of the ceiling, upside down, screaming into the microphone. Man, now he's just spitting lines, doing crazy rap stuff, dude. He's amazing.
Hell yeah, I ain't got no health insurance, so I ain't hanging up for nothing. I really ain't even playing basketball no more. Like I'm chilling back on everything. Like on the stage, I'll be standing still, looking at everybody to see which one's gonna.
Do you have a favorite metal band?
I listen, man. Okay, we're gonna talk about this. I am born in 1990, so I love new metal. All the things that I love aren't because I listened to all the metal records and associated what made records great, and then put all my points into them. What happened is I was in high school and there's a radio, and I listened to the radio. So I love what's
Limp
called
Bizkit.
new metal with the little 2 dots above it. Limp Bizkit. I love POD. I love Saliva.
Dude, me too.
I love
Good shit.
I know all the songs to Linkin Park's for the first 2 records, and I know some of the guys that did Reanimation. I've chill with them, and they're like, they don't even remember that part of their life, and I'm like, you were on Reanimation. Oh, shout outs to DJ Green Lantern who did that whole record, who just produced some joints for me, and the whole time, like, everybody's like, oh man, that guy's Nas's DJ. I'm like, yeah, he did Reanimation, and I'm like freaking out. I'm a new metal guy. I listen to new metal, and all my friends say I still listen to Jimmy Eats World, Chevelle, Breaking Benjamin.
Good one.
I listened to all that shit, but that's my metal era. After that, I was chilling with metal bands and had no idea who they are, and I don't really care to. I don't listen to metal. I don't listen to it.
See, my biggest metal stuff is Nickelback. I love that.
Hey, you know what's
dude.
okay? Listen, everybody gonna say that,
Dude.
but 93.3 The Planet.
They got some
That's what hit
slappers.
my house. So Nickelback gets the check in my book.
I said it.
Listen, man.
They got some bangers, dude.
You know, I'm gonna keep bringing it up until Michael kicks me off the show and I'm not allowed back in here anymore.
Here's the thing about
Keep my
Nickelback.
cool.
If they never sold no records and you found their CD at what's the shit where they sell all used clothes?
I'm gonna stop you right there. I'm gonna
At the
stop
flea
you right
market,
there.
if you
'Cause I
heard
bought
picture
that-
this photograph and you was like, okay, this band's not garbage. You get what I'm saying? That would be a good local Gastonia band.
I'll agree to disagree.
Okay.
If I bought that at the flea market, I'd find that dude I bought it from and punch him in his face.
See, I'm on the same page. I think that the reason why everybody gives Nickelback so
They get
much
played
hate
too
is
much.
because people give Nickelback so much hate. If people didn't give
no.
Nickelback so much hate, they wouldn't get so much hate.
All right. I'm gonna explain. I'm gonna break the Nickelback shit down right now. This is all right. Sorry to interrupt this broadcast. the reason why we hate Nickelback is because Nickelback came in riding the coattails of Dimebag Darrell.
Really? Explain this to me. How does this happen?
So those guys knew Dimebag, right?
Hold on.
and
I'm
Dimebag
white.
took
I'm a white black. You gotta explain. All right. So tell them what band Dimebag Darrell is.
Dimebag is Pantera. If you're watching this and you don't know who Dimebag Darrell is, you got a problem.
Okay. Dimebag Darrell dies tragically, leaves a whole fan base completely scarred. And today, people say you're not going to Dimebag Darrell me. It's a regular term. You know what I mean?
So Dimebag after Pantera, they started Damage Plan, and Damage Plan took Nickelback on the road. And when Nickelback first started making music,
Pantera took Nickelback on the road.
No, Damage Plan did.
What is that one?
That's so Pantera broke up.
Pantera's from Brazil, right?
No. They're
Texas.
from Texas.
Okay.
All right, so they broke up right around 2000, and Dimebag and Vinny went on the road with Damage Plan, and they started a whole new band. Great song, Save Me's a great song. So they took Nickelback on the road. They were friends with Dimebag, and at the time they were writing metal music, and they built themselves as a metal band.
Right.
And they wrote one album that came out and has a little bit of commercial success, and they started to get entrenched in the metal community. And then they started writing fucking pop songs with the heavy guitars.
They was getting money and
And
loving cocaine.
they straight sold out.
God
and
bless
like,
'em.
and so like they tried to get all a bunch of metal fans on their stuff.
let me pause for
and
a
then they
second,
took
pause for a
this
second.
mad right turn.
For all the hip hop heads at home, Dimebag Darrell is the Pimp C of metal music. Continue.
Okay. That's a very good analogy. Very good analogy.
Yeah.
And so anyways, so they built themselves. They kept booking themselves on metal festivals, metal shows, and they kept trying to like be a metal band to the fans. And then they go and write, look at this photograph. And they write these pop songs. And
Do you feel like they probably just started taking songwriters at that point?
No, I don't think that anyone else wrote their
think that they
songs.
wrote them
I
songs?
think they took the easy way out. They did. God, I don't want to piss people off, but they
Can't
did.
hit them with it.
They did what country singers do. They started playing to the lowest common
I
denominator.
know all about it.
Yeah, so they started writing songs to appeal to the people who
who buy Coca-Colas at the football game.
He started writing music for guys who airbrushed their hood to their car.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Look at this photograph. Listen, if they put a little more Southern on it, it would be the worst
would be-
music other.
like, yeah,
but
put a
because it's
Southern
like
twang.
a Canadian accent on it, it sounds good in the grocery store. But it doesn't sound good in the grocery store with a Southern accent. Check out this picture here. Done
See, that's
found
why-
about it back from some years.
that's why people started hating Nickelback. And then like a whole bunch of people jumped on that bandwagon. And I know they got fans
I feel
out there.
personally
And you
attacked.
might be a fan of Nickelback. And I mean no offense to you. But your musical taste sucks.
But dog, also, if you're a fan of Nickelback, like that's your thing, yeah, go get hit by a truck.
You probably wear wife beaters and you wash your car all the time. You know,
Hey, I want to get my metal face back real quick. Well, when I said from Brazil, I was thinking of Sepultura. Sepultura is from Brazil,
that's a
right?
They are
Yeah.
from Brazil.
I gotta be honest. I've listened to these records when I've been trying to sample shit and steal shit, and when I listened to the Sepultura record, I took more samples than I took from the fucking Dimebag Darrell record, the fucking
Pantera records.
the Pantera records. But on the Fear from a Black Planet, they sampled. Who did they sample? They sampled one of those two metal bands. Slayer. And all right, so Slayer, one of the dudes from Slayer left Metallica and kicked everybody's ass.
No, that's Megadeth.
That's
Megadeth.
Megadeth.
Yeah.
Okay, see,
So
listen.
Dave Mustaine was the original guitar player for Metallica, and they kicked him out because he was mad alcoholic. And then
Did he beat their ass though? That's the
No,
story.
I think.
he didn't beat nobody's ass. He started Megadeth and then kicked their ass.
Listen,
musically.
I've listened to Megadeth,
no, fuck
and I
no.
don't know shit about motherfucking rock music, but
I don't know. Listen to the Metallica albums, and then when Dave Mustaine left, those
The
albums sound a whole
whole
lot different.
the whole album's
Listen,
changed.
whoever the guitarist is in Megadeth is got to be the illest of all time.
That's Dave
I
Mustaine.
listen
Oh,
to
yeah.
their music, and like this guy's guitar solo is like fucking 64 bars.
Yeah, Holy Wars is one of the greatest.
Dog, he's fucking insane. And like that Hendrix and all that shit from the 60s, they were making like folk, cool sound. They were just getting used to like the electrical sounds and all that shit. But this guy from
Took it to another
Megadeth,
level.
he's the fucking Kobe Bryant of that shit. He's fucking incredible, man. I'm telling you, that's the best guitarist. And I don't even know whose name. Dave
Shout out to
Mustaine.
Dave Mustaine.
Dog, his shit is fire. He's got to be the illest. with the
Megadeth
guitar.
Hey
shows
Dave,
some
if
of the most-
we're gonna get you on the next season. Come on down, Dave. We'll
Oh,
get
yeah,
you on the
come
next
through,
season of
come
the
through,
Rooster
come through.
podcast.
I would agree with you guys, but I'm more of a Metallica fan than I am.
Right.
That's okay.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that. Like anyone that says they like one and not the other is full of shit. First of all,
Yeah.
It's like those
bullshit.
guys that are like, I'm a Star Wars fan, but I don't like George Lucas. Get the fuck out of here, man. You know, if you fuck with the shit, you fuck with the shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they're both
Director
great.
and
They're
all.
both great metal bands, but
Yeah.
Metallica was a very different band after Dave Mustaine, and it's still good music.
Still good.
You know, I remember in the '90s when Load and Reload came out. So many. You can even go back to the Black Album. Black Album pissed off a lot of Metallica fans, and they're like, you know what? You're full of shit because if Metallica's name was not on that album and you heard that album, you would love it.
Yep.
You just hate that it doesn't sound like And Justice for All. You hate that it doesn't sound like Kill 'Em All.
I think that's what
You know?
killed Linkin Park is because there was people like me that those first two albums were real inspired by that like rap rock thing going on, and
Exactly.
the best versions of that done by the highest level producers. And after that, hip hop changed. So once that, they were trying to incorporate new hip hop with the like new rock. It was like combining emo with, and it's like, dude, I didn't even get the like whatever they happened after the Meteora and all
either.
that. I didn't get any of that stuff.
So you're saying all this shit about people falling off the bandwagon when the band changed, and then you're over here hating on Nickelback. I mean, all I can say is
I never said that I liked them, and I never did like them.
Yo, my homies did a show with the guy that's the guy. Well, Creed. Okay, because we're talking about this Creed. If you were chopping up all the songs,
I
like
love Creed, bro.
the higher level, the dot wave file, yeah, his voice.
Right.
So like what Kanye West does with records with Aretha Franklin and stuff, where he speeds up the BPM of them and then
Yeah.
samples them. If you do that with Creed, it sounds sick because they're the mics they were using, and they were like such high quality studios and everything. If you speed that up and like make beats out of it,
They
I've
were
done it.
supposed to be
It's
the next Pearl
incredible.
Jam.
But my friends did a show with them, and he said he wouldn't perform on stage in Asheville at the something called the some shit downtown.
The Orange Peel?
Nah. It was the other one, the Grey Eagle.
Oh, okay.
And he wouldn't hit the stage because he was Christian or whatever until everybody left. Or not until everybody left, but until all the beer was gone. Because he wouldn't perform on the stage with the alcohol in the spot.
Look. Not everyone is cut out to have money.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say about that. Not everyone is good with money.
That's a great
Didn't
observation.
Jesus make water into wine and stuff though? Like it's just a weird pick. Here's my suspect, and I'm from the music
my
industry.
line.
Here's my line. That guy had a percentage of alcohol sales in the bar. So if it all got sold out, then he got more money. So he wouldn't perform until they bought all the stuff that paid for him. That's how
Well, if that's the case,
I
he's
don't
a
know
genius.
that. Yeah, exactly. He played everybody, but it's like that's what the guy leaders of the Jesus community would do. He's an evangelical predestined or whatever they're doing over
Speaking
there.
of evangelical, let's talk about that because there's a couple of hip hop artists that are build themselves as Christian artists that are making a lot of noise. You heard of this NF?
Yeah, man, people hit me up and they're like, yo, you need to make some shit like NF. They hit me up all the time. I'm not big into the Christian thing, man. It's not my thing. It's cool
not
if
really
it is your
mine
thing.
either.
Yeah.
It's not really mine either, but guys like him, Skillet is like a hard rock band that's Christian
For
based.
today.
For today.
For today's good.
And,
Do you guys know
Demon
about
Hunter,
4+1?
Red.
4+1. Red. I don't know about
the
4+1.
South Park episode where like they make like a Christian band.
Oh yes, I did.
And on the
4+1.
cover, Cartman's looking off to the sea like that. It's fucking perfect.
That was
man.
a brilliant episode.
Yeah, man. Man, a
Michael's one of the
Christian
biggest South
rap.
Park fans.
I am. I love South Park.
I watch this the things. I'm super critical. I'm gonna be paying for the app. I love South Park. It makes me forget that I'm alive.
It kind of upsets me that you got to pay for the app to see.
I'm
the
okay
new
with that. I got
special.
$10 for anything that South Park does. It takes me away from my life, man.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. I don't want them to bring back Mr. Hanky. I can tell they're about to do it, but it's like, man, whatever. I just want to.
Mr. Hanky, the Christmas.
You remember the last couple of years we had the Mandalorian to look forward to during Christmas time.
It's
and, like,
happening. Well, yeah, I thought
it's
it was
happening after Christmas, but
Well,
dude, it's like
I
that's
said
when they're
before Christmas.
Nah, that's when they're doing the Bounty Hunter or what's it called?
Boba Fett.
Boba Fett, the
Boba
Book
Fett.
of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
So like we'll see. But to me, I'm not.
That's cool too.
So I guess you're a Star Wars guy.
Dude, my original name was Benihana Kenobi when I did all my shows at Ground Zero at the beginning, and then Jelly Roll pulled me aside, did this thing where he like hugs me real tight and it's uncomfortable, and he's like, "Nobody can spell your name." He's like, "You got to shorten that shit." And I was like, "Okay, all right," and so I did. So like, but also when I was Benihana Kenobi after the shows, fans would come up to me and they'd be like, "Have you read the third book in the second edition where the Han Solo does the?" I'm like, "Bro, I
Not
like
that
the
deep into
movies.
it,
I was
yeah.
in the movie. My name's Ben Kenobi. I just logically did Benihana Kenobi, and
I was just about to
I love
ask,
Star
how'd you
Wars.
land on Benihana? Like,
Yeah, because when
yeah.
Michael said earlier in the week, "Hey, Thursday, Benihana's coming," I'm like, "I'm gonna show up hungry then, man. Benihana."
that would be fire. It's like, dog, when I was with Jackie Chan, he told me stories about like when people thought like he was Jackie Chan. You know what I'm saying? They get overexcited. Like, Benihana is coming. They'll be like, the restaurant guy? And then I get there and I'm like, I brought a 40. Like, who is this guy?
he's ready to eat some Chinese food.
Yeah, exactly.
It's hibachi. But yeah, how did you land on Benihana?
My name's BH. That's my initials. So it's like my friends couldn't really pronounce
You
my
didn't want
last
to call
name.
yourself Bo.
Yeah, B. That would work. Is it W? No, listen, I'm really bad at spelling. You can check my face, whatever, anything that I ever write, everything's spelled wrong. I went to a school for dyslexia and all that stuff, and on top of that, like, I'm just not that smart. And like with the spelling thing, like, have you ever gotten to a conversation where somebody starts thinking they beat you in the conversation because you spelled something wrong?
I've never been there.
I
What is
try not
that
to
like?
associate-
People will be like,
with people
whole, not whole. They win. I'm like, you're the one that's gay for stopping and saying that shit. Because me, I was just out here talking shit with my gut, and you're over here fine-tooth combing through everything.
I'll be honest with you, man. It was 2016 when I stopped doing the whole social media argument shit.
Dog, that's when it should have just never got there. To me, I'm always like trying to work with social media, and that's just like trying to work with humanity. Like, there's a reason me and you don't work sales jobs.
There's a term out there called post and ghost. And I've been living by that mantra for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
I would find myself in conversations I didn't want to be in.
Yeah, dude. Like, you even do that. I tried to congratulate my friend the other day, and I broke down. I was like, dude, I just can't. Like, hey man, congratulations. I can't even. It's just, why? What do I do? I'll call you.
No matter what you say
job.
online, you're gonna piss somebody off, and you can either spend the rest of your day arguing and ruining your own day, or you can piss somebody off, see that they're pissed off, and just laugh at the fact that they're miserable and you're not.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
you don't even have to put the laugh react. You could just...
You got to understand what being a white rapper is like. The amount of deranged psychopaths that write things on the ground in jail that want to send you messages. Hey man, read all this stuff for free. Like crazy. Like I just like if I get on the internet. Also, I'm on a European record label in German. So I get like a whole bunch of things that are just like and I'm like, dude, I can't read any, or things in French, like paragraphs. You know what I mean? And the worst ones are the people that go ahead and hit Google Translate and it doesn't work that well, like through Slovakian or anything, and then it's like, I mean you rap duet, bang you good. And I'm like
Like, look, dude, we're American. We speak we only speak one language.
yeah, man, PayPal. That's the language we speak in America. Hit me up. I don't know nothing about the rest of that stuff, man. It's crazy, man. Checking the internet's always interesting. One of my favorite rappers does a show where all he does is just answer his European rap messages that are translated, and they're all just hilarious,
awesome.
Exactly like that. It's
does
so
sound like a
funny.
great show.
I love it when they ask me, "Do you want to do a duet?" Instead of like, yo, can I get a feature? Because when they hit translate and try to break that down, it says duet. Because that's what we're doing is a duet.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I know in French, people will be like, oh, yes, we do the duet. And I just see us like both like, you know, like.
Skipping merrily.
Yeah. What's that one where it's like something about summer camp?
Summer loving.
Yeah,
Summer loving.
Yeah, doing something like that. Just started like, will you do a duet? And I'm like, listen, man, if you got $200, I'll do anything musically that you got on the table.
Get some James Taylor and Jim Croce together. There
Listen,
you go.
man, I want to sample those things, but like, yo, all right. So these guys that I know, they sampled a little X group, and they got sued for like $10,500.
Ooh.
So like, I love Jim Croce, and
They got sued for $10,500.
That's oddly specific.
It's an oddly specific
That's
number.
exactly how much it was.
And it's not that much money, really, if you're going to
You know
sue
what's
somebody.
messed up? If when they hit you with those shits for when you sample, they don't hit you with like, can I have a percentage of the record? They hit you with your fines and your fees.
They
So
want that
even
one
if you
time,
made
yeah.
$30, you're gonna get $10,500.
We're talking about DistroKid right now?
No, we're talking about music industry with full on distribution. Right now, there's an upload. When you upload your stuff through DistroKid, there's a matrix that already can tell what your sample is and check the words out, run it through that, and tell that whether or not you sampled something that was illegal. If you try to like sample Britney Spears, "Oops, I Did It Again," and make that your rap hook, when you upload it, they're gonna like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
So like once you make it through the matrix, now you're kind of good. But back in the day, you could just put physical CDs out, and the way that worked with Best Buy is you would just give them CDs. There was no guy in between the record label and Best Buy getting the CDs.
Yeah.
That would listen and say, okay, all right, we got it. So now once you get hit for that stuff, they hit you for everything you distributed worldwide. So you get hit with crazy charges. So for that reason,
You're already getting peanuts from the streaming services.
yeah.
and stuff.
It just makes everybody look at it crazy. But also for us beat makers, like I order records from Egypt and Europe and stuff just because like I know that the trademark in the 70s, those people did not trademark those things for American trademark laws in the two.
So
they're
the
not
laws
keeping
are
them.
different now.
Well, yeah, and those people haven't got their music uploaded to the apps and stuff like that.
Right.
So when I do sample it, it'll make it through the matrix because it's never been touched by there. So that now all us producers are having like there's a nuclear winter happen, and now we're trying to get the last bits of food that are left. Kind of
Right.
thing.
I would like to think that if I was a super successful musician, and someone sampled my music, I'd like to think I made enough good decisions to not be so broke.
Yeah.
I'm going after some
it's not how
guy
it works.
in North Carolina,
Yeah.
for sampling a song I did 40
Here's what
fucking
happens.
years
Those
ago.
guys will be down on their luck, and then they sell all the rights to their music to some other guy who doesn't even know.
That's happening a lot right now.
That's the way
right
it
now.
works.
That's happening all over the place.
So and that guy's like, that guy has a guy that come to him, and he goes, yeah, we got this sampling thing. We could probably hit him for $10,500. He's like, the lawyer's on retainer. I'm paying him monthly the same amount. Yeah, go ahead and get him after that, so he gets to $10,500. So he takes care of his retainer for the next 3 or 4 months.
It's a whole business.
Yeah,
It's a
it's just
machine.
and they don't care. You're like, well, we're just these rap guys from a small town. They're like, go fuck yourself. I gotta have $3,500 for the next 3 months. They don't give a shit.
I gotta get that 10,500.
Yeah, that's exactly. It's just the way it works.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's absolutely brutal, and there's no one left alive, and you got to plan for the long haul. And the
Now it's all
Holocaust
right.
is coming. Yeah, it's almost over. Yeah.
But there are some pretty fire samples off of those European and like even the Japanese records I'm seeing
that's
online.
the best shit. If the Young Jeezy came out with the shit with Big Boy that was like, just had a Chinese chick going crazy. I was loving that shit.
Sounds like a Yoko Ono song.
Yeah, exactly. Just slowly killing the Beatles by herself. Beautiful moment. No one talks about that. I guess people still do talk about it. Well, whatever, man. I just did a song with my man Kwame. He said, I get locked up for dope like I'm John Sinclair. And I was like, the only people that know about this is guys that watched I Love the 60s on VH1. You know what I mean? There's there's sometimes the only people you hit, man. Shout outs to all my Asian chicks that are with artists right now, because there's a lot of them. You're not Yoko Ono.
Well, I guess we should have probably done this sooner, but why don't you tell our audience where to find you and where to find your music?
Man, I'm on Facebook and Instagram and whatever thing you got, just BENI-HANA. I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of shows at the Rooster.
Can't wait.
Shout outs to my record label, the Snow Goons. Shout outs to guys that's working with me and pushing me, the Snow Goons. Shout outs to Grind Mode Cypher. Shout outs to the Rooster. Gastonia, what's up? Gastonia artists. We're going to have a new spot to display our artistry and whatnot soon, so we're pretty excited. Shout outs to Carolina.
Yeah, very excited. Now, this is the last show of the year, so I'm going to go ahead and say Merry Christmas, Happy New Year
Merry
to all of
Christmas.
our
Merry
audience.
Christmas.
Happy Hanukkah
guys.
to all you Jewish people.
That's right.
Is Kwanzaa still in the game? Kwanzaa's still in the game.
Why not?
And happy Kwanzaa.
Shout outs to Kwanzaa.
So we'll be back next year. We got a whole lot more episodes lined up. I want to thank Benihana. Thank you
Shout
so
outs
much
to the
for coming
Rooster.
to this.
Thank y'all. Listen, thank y'all so much.
This
man,
is a
for
great
having
way
me, man.
to end the year 2021. I don't know about you, Kody. I think we've had a great year.
I think so.
We had 2 seasons of the show. We took a break for summer and we came back strong with the video content.
You guys adjusted.
Yes, thank you
have
to
to.
those of you that are watching, the few dozen of you that are watching every show. We really appreciate it. I think we ought to celebrate. We're finally at a point where we're getting really, really close. It'll be summer next year. We'll finally be able to get the doors open.
Be awesome.
And Benny, you'll be one of the first people we call.
Yeah,
for
I'm
the
coming.
show.
I'm booking all. If you know anybody that's famous that I know, they'll be over there. So we'll be over at the Rooster hanging out. That's if you in North Carolina or South Carolina, you need to be at the Rooster. That's
And
the
if
most
you're a
important
hip hop
spot.
artist in this area looking
Yeah.
to book shows,
Yeah,
hit
holla at
Benny
me.
up.
Yeah, exactly, absolutely. We're trying to. We're in a great part of North Carolina history of rap music, and a great part of live music. The fact that we're coming back from COVID, you're opening this thing. We're all gonna capitalize, make it happen, baby. I'm excited.
Let's make some money, have some fun, and share some art, guys.
Absolutely.
Cody, what have you got to tell everyone for the Christmas end of the year show? What do you?
Dude, I'm just like thankful to be a part of it, man. Thankful to be the host. Michael has done most of it.
This show doesn't happen
today.
without Cody's going to downplay it, but this show doesn't happen. Cody was the first person I called when we decided to do this podcast. He's got the voice. He's pretty.
The face for radio.
He looks like Tyler Childress. You know what I'm saying? What else you need?
And he's been with me lockstep every step of the way. And, of course, we got to shout out our beautiful producer, Josh. It took me about a year and a half to
Amazing
wrangle
beard.
this guy in.
Amazing.
I
beard.
worked on him for months and months, but he finally joined the crew.
Bro, you're killing it. Loving it.
Doing an awesome
Thank you,
job.
Josh. And Vinny, thanks again for being on the show.
Man, I'll be anytime y'all want me over here. Y'all let me know. I'm chilling. I'm right up the street from y'all, smoking weed, doing nothing. So,
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from the Rooster to you.
That's right.